pair of B-1B Lancers assigned to Ellsworth Air Force Base deployed to Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, launched from the island base to conduct a long-range strategic bomber task force mission in the South China Sea on July 21. The 37th Expeditionary Bomb Squadron conducted a maritime integration operation with the USS Ronald Reagan carrier strike group in the Philippine Sea. B-1 and its crews demonstrated the U.S. commitment to the security and stability of the Indo-Pacific, while also displaying the ability to rapidly deploy to a forward operating location and sustain operations whenever called upon. The BTF construct provides the flexibility for our bombers to operate in any area of responsibility and enhances our readiness, said Lieutenant Colonel Lincoln Coleman, 37th EBS Commander. It gives us the ability to project air power across the globe. Non-stop mission was made possible with the support from KC-135 Stratotankers from the 506th Expeditionary Air Refueling Squadron, and the dedication of the 37th Aircraft Maintenance Unit took the B-1s to the South China Sea and allowed the bomber to fly for 14 consecutive hours. U.S. Strategic Command routinely conducts BTF operations across the globe as a demonstration of U.S. commitment to collective defense and to integrate with geographic combatant command operations and activities. Coleman noted these missions provide B-1 aircrews the opportunity to train with allies and partner nations they may work with in future operations. These missions strengthen our partnerships and increases our interoperability with a wide variety of military assets, Coleman said. Not only throughout the Department of Defense, but also with our allies across the globe. More than 150 airmen and several B-1 bombers arrived at Andersen AFB on July 17. Colonel David Doss, 28th Bomb Wing Commander, said ensuring the base remains mission-ready and able to deploy for missions such as these during the COVID-19 pandemic is why Ellsworth instituted restrictions and safeguards for its personnel from the beginning. Because our members often work closely together, one positive case can cause the quarantine of many personnel, which can have a devastating mission impact, Doss said. These safeguards and restrictions are continuously updated based on the potential for increased risk of COVID-19 spread due to events that attract large crowds or an increase in out-of-town visitors. The 28th Bomb Wing must always be prepared to answer our nation's call anytime, anywhere at a moment's notice without fail. Meanwhile, significant military spending has boosted Connecticut's already muscle-bound defense industry, with increases in 2018 far ahead of the U.S. average, according to a study by the Pew Charitable Trusts. By one measure, defense contracts as a percentage of spending, Connecticut was number one among the states. Pew said contracts that pay for goods and services such as weapons systems and information technology consulting accounted for 93% of Pentagon spending in the state in 2018, the most recent year for which data are available. Massachusetts was next, at 88%, and Delaware was last, at 15%. Other areas of spending are for retirement, grants, salaries and wages, and non-retirement, such as health care. Defense spending per capita in Connecticut increased by 44% in 2018 from 2017, nearly 4 times the national average of 12%. Federal government spent $579 billion on defense in the states and Washington, D.C., or $1,772 per capita in 2018. Military spending in Connecticut was $4,560 per person, among the highest in the U.S., behind Alaska, Hawaii, Maryland, Virginia and Washington, D.C. Per capita defense spending ranged from $565 in Oregon to $7,455 in Virginia, with Washington, D.C., receiving the most, $10,779 per person. The disparities are due to the presence of military bases, the number of personnel and industrial activity. Connecticut is home to Pratt & Whitney, a subsidiary of Waltham, Mass. based Raytheon Technologies Corp. that makes engines for the F-35 fighter jet, Sikorsky Aircraft, the Lockheed Martin Corp. helicopter manufacturer, and General Dynamics Electric Boat, which makes nuclear submarines in Groton and Quonset Point. In addition, hundreds of manufacturers across Connecticut are part of the critical supply chain that makes parts and components for defense contractors, including the Evandale, Ohio-based commercial and military aviation manufacturer of General Electric Co. Connecticut kind of has the trifecta of military development programs, said Lauren Thompson, Chief Operating Officer of the Lexington Institute, and Arlington. The significant spending increases followed the 2016 election of President Donald Trump, who pledged to boost the U.S. military. In addition, U.S. strategists are watching warily as Russia dispatches submarines into the North Atlantic and China extends its reach across the South China Sea. Russia has sent more subs into the North Sea than any time since the Cold War ended, Thompson said. And China is the centerpiece of U.S. strategy, prodding Congress and the Pentagon to invest in new aircraft, missiles and the B-1, a new Air Force bomber, he said. Pratt & Whitney is making the engine and Raytheon Technologies is making the electronics, Thompson said. Also, due partly to an increase in spending caps allowed by the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2018, federal spending on national defense rose by $63 billion, a 12% rise, from fiscal 2017 to 2018, Pew said. Congress is on course to continue massive military spending that would deliver billions to Connecticut. It's a particularly welcome boost to the state's economy, which contracted by 4.6% in the first 3 months of the year as businesses closed to slow the spread of the coronavirus. The House of Representatives voted Tuesday to approve a $740 billion authorization measure for the 2021 budget year. The Senate voted Thursday on its version, sending the two bills to a committee that must come up with one piece of legislation for both houses of Congress to pass and Trump to sign. House bill authorizes $6.8 billion for the Virginia-class submarine program, $4 billion to begin construction of the Columbia-class submarine, $2.8 billion for the B-21 bomber and $2.2 billion for 12 KC-46A tanker aircraft powered by Pratt & Whitney engines, said Representative Joe Courtney, D-Con, a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Lockheed Martin posted second-quarter financial results Tuesday that reflected increased military spending. Its rotary and mission systems business posted net sales of $271 million, or 7% higher than in the same 3 months last year. Net sales were up about $240 million for Sikorsky helicopter programs due to higher volume, primarily in Seahawk production and the Marine One presidential helicopter. And Chief Financial Officer Kenneth Possereed told industry analysts on a conference call Tuesday that Lockheed Martin is expecting double-digit growth this year for the F-35. Orders are driving strong sales growth year over year and is expected into the second half of 2020, he said.